All right, good afternoon. It is exactly 1 p.m. East African time here in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much for keeping it TV47. You are just in time for news now with I, Sheilar Chelangat, and it begins now. The national soccer team Harambee Stars are taking on the Chipolopolo of Zambia in an enticing final Group A encounter of the currently ongoing African Nations Championship. After the recent sanctions and changes, Kenyans will now watch this match in designated viewing centers in the CBD. So let's take a look at what is happening at this moment at the CBD. Alvin, if you can hear me, how are you doing? Good afternoon. And what is the situation like at the CBD?
We are live here in Nairobi Central Business District, and we are at one of the fan zones designated for viewership. Here in Nairobi, we are at Archives, and the fans have been gathering here since morning, and there are quite a lot of fans here who are excited to come and watch Kenya's national team, football team, face Zambia during today's match. And
All right, that is the situation as it is at the moment, even as Harambee Stars are waiting to take on Zambia of the Chipolopolo. Of course, that is one of the viewing centers that have been designated by Kenya's FKF for viewing the match live. Of course, we do wish Harambee Stars all the best in their upcoming match. And away from that, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi yesterday joined the family of the late Dr. Enoch Andanje at their home in Manda Shivanga Ward, Malava constituency to condole with them. Dr. Andanje, a UDA aspirant in the upcoming Malava by-election, died after collapsing during a Widows Empowerment Forum last Friday. Mudavadi, while condoling with the family, said that Andanje's death is a deep loss not only to his family but to the wider community and the democratic journey he was set to champion. The cause of death is yet to be confirmed, but a post-mortem is scheduled.
Hallelujah. Yesu, Yesu, naomba unisifu. Yesu, naomba unisifu. Shetani katika jioni inaweza kuondolewa. Ukue Mungu wetu na sisi tukue watu wako. Katika jina la Baba na Mwana Roho Mtakatifu. Amen.
Right, and away from that, residents of Thaba and Kiambururu villages in Nyandarua County are crying out for help after a heartbreaking scene. The body of the late James Minor had to be transported to his final resting place using a tractor due to the poor state of roads. Impassable roads have become a nightmare for Nyandarua residents, forcing them to use a tractor to ferry their loved ones for burial. But it's not just funerals being affected. Farmers say they are unable unable to transport their harvest to market as the roads have completely deteriorated. Frustrated locals accuse county leaders of neglect and broken promises and are demanding urgent intervention. In a phone interview with TV47, Engineer Peter Karanja from the Nyandarua County Roads Department admitted the challenge, citing heavy rains that have damaged most roads. He added that repairs will have to wait until the weather improves.
Hatungeweza kuzika our dad with respect kwa sababu ya barabara. Imagine carrying our dad na tingatinga. In hali tumechaguana na tuliamka mapema. Our parents walituamsha mapema, twende tukachaguane.
Kutetesha barabara kwa MCA, anasema hii barabara ni ya national government. Tukienda kwa national government, wanatutuma kwa county government.
Tunaomba serikali yetu ya Nyandarua ikiongozwa na gavana wetu Kericho Governor, kwa wakazi wa hawa wodi ya Kanjwiri, tunawaomba kwa heshima mje mtutumikie.
And residents of Ngoingwa Estate in Thika, Kiambu County are calling for the closure or relocation of a factory they claim poses serious health risks. Led by Nyumbakumi leader Francis Njuguna, the locals say the factory emits harmful substances that cause asthma, skin diseases and other respiratory issues, especially in children. The factory produces egg trays using waste materials, including plastics, and is located in a residential area. Residents accuse both county and national governments of allowing it to operate illegally, despite NEMA documents ordering its closure. The directive, however, was ignored.
Kuna kiwanda ambacho kinaokota takataka ambazo zina ama waste product ile ambayo inasagwa kisha inatengeneza vitu ya plastiki ya clay ama zile vitu za kuweza kuweka mayai ya kuku. Hapa ni mbele ya wakaaji na juu ya kitu tunaita environment ama what we call the waste product pollution, juu ya mazingira ya watu ama mambo ya maisha ya binadamu iweze kuondolewa, kwa maana hizi plastiki ni kemikali ambazo zinaweza kudhuru afya zetu na pia kunaweza kutokea magonjwa ambayo haijulikani, na sisi wenyewe hatujawahi kualikwa kama vile public participation kujulisha mambo ya kiwanda. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kama inaweza hamishwa ipelekwe pahali viwanda vinatakikana kuwa vinaendelea.
Na ukiangalia hapa mahali ni estate, kitu ya kwanza. So sidhani kama kunaweza kuwa na kiwanda karibu na mahali ambapo watu wanakaa. Mtoto akipatikana na jangwa kama hii ya kuvuta hiyo hewa ambayo inatoka katika hiyo kiwanda, atapata shida kwa sababu mzazi ndiye atakuwa anagharamia hiyo mahitaji ya kupeleka hospitali, na mwenye kiwanda naye ametulia. Na kwanza ukiona sana kiwanda iko kwa boma.
And moving on, moments after the impeachment of Kericho Governor Eric Mutai, nominated MCA Dora Kaino filed an assault report against him at the Kericho police station. She claims the governor assaulted her outside the assembly chambers after the heated session, leaving her with bruises from blows and kicks. The incident comes just after the chaotic Friday session at the Kericho County Assembly, where 33 out of 47 MCAs voted to impeach the governor. Investigations into the alleged assault are expected to begin on Monday.
Jana kulikuwa na motion ya impeachment ya governor na kukakuwa na fracas baada ya kura kupigwa, na nikitoka nje kuondolea hiyo fracas nikapatana na governor akitoka kwa ofisi ya clerk. Kumbe hakuwa ametoka nje kabisa, alikuwa kwa ofisi ya clerk. Nikitembea kwenye speakers lane, kumbe alinifuata nyuma na mimi sikujua. Kunifuata nyuma bila nilipiga turn kwenye parking ya magari ya waheshimiwa, nikarealize governor ananifukuza, yani anakuja mbio towards where I was. Sijui alinigwara na nini hapo na huku, na akanipiga ngumi na akanikanyaga sana kwenye my back, because my back was the place which was exposed. Alinipiga ngumi mingi sana. Ilikuwa bahati mbaya ama kwa bahati mzuri akakuwa impeached. So ananiletea hasira mimi peke yangu, na watu wengi ndio walikuwa mashughulikia hiyo maneno yake. So nitaenda na governor hadi kotini na sitababaika na sitatishwa.
And a section of Ukambani leaders allied to President William Ruto have dismissed former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's month-long USA tour as unproductive. The leaders urged Gachagua and his allies to manage public expectations ahead of his return next Thursday. Mwala MP Vincent Kawaya claimed that Kenyans in the US had criticized Gachagua's divisive politics and emphasized that Ruto is on track for a second term. He also called on the Kamba community to resist opposition influence as the 2027 elections approach.
Na mnajua hata wakati mwingine miaka kidogo imepita tulicheleweshwa na useless narratives, mwishowe we were not even in the ballot. Na sasa hata mnaona ile hiyo ndio mchezo tunachezewa sasa. Mjamaa akikuja hapa anasema mtasaidia huyu kiongozi wa hapa sijui apate kiti, lakini yeye akienda kwao anawaambia sijui jiko kupika chakula inataka mawe 3 na anataja hiyo mawe na hiyo mawe hakuna Mkamba katika hiyo mawe.
Our former deputy president, karibu sana nyumbani. Welcome back to our Kenya. Come back as a patriotism. But what you have done to this country, to go to US, because you want power, and you want power all through all the means, to go to defame our country, it will only haunt you.
Nao wamama wako pale, wengine wako na mimba, wanataka mahali ya kuzalia. Sisi Kenya ile tuko nayo wa Munyoro ni hii moja, hatuna ingine. Na tunataka kukuambia tafadhali njoo nyumbani na utafute amani katika nchi ya Kenya. Hiyo ndio tunataka.
And to matters health, the Kenya Medical Association has condemned county governments that continue charging private health facilities for single business permits, despite court rulings suspending or nullifying such levies. Speaking in Mombasa during a stakeholders meeting, KMA chairperson Dr. Simon Kigundu said these levies burden already licensed hospitals. He also urged the Social Health Authority to settle all NHIF inherited debts as well as arrears owed since the authority's establishment, stating that the delays have crippled services in both public and private hospitals.
Wote na mahospitali musilipe single business permit kama mumelipa KMPDC leseni ya madaktari na leseni ya hospitali tu. Hao watu wakija muwe tumeandika kama chama cha madaktari cha KMA barua ambayo inaoneshana hamfai kulipa. Mjue ya kwamba kesi ya rufa ya single business permit haijawahi kusikiza, lakini iko stay order. Haufai kulipa kwa sababu jaji amesema bado hajasikiza kesi. Na hapa Mombasa tunasema tena, tafadhali bwana gavana, ambia watu wako wasisumbue madaktari na mahospitali single business permit. Ni SHA ilipe madeni yake yote. SHA ilichukua madeni na pia assets kutoka NHIF.
And Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has warned President Ruto's administration against plans to privatize the Kenya Pipeline Company, saying any investor who buys it risks losing it under a new government. Speaking in Chuka, Meru County, Kalonzo termed the sale a betrayal of Kenyans. He vowed that the opposition would reclaim the asset despite court rulings. He referenced the opposition's successful resistance to JKIA's proposed takeover by India's Adani Group and said strategic public institutions must remain public. Kalonzo also called on ODM to relinquish minority leadership roles in parliament, accusing the party of playing both sides.
We want to tell any investor, ukijaribu kununua mali ya umma kwa njia isiyoeleweka bila parliamentary oversight proper, because hiyo yenu Robert ya Tuesday is not proper. First of all, mahakama imetoa a court order. You cannot even begin to discuss it on Tuesday. Itakuwa ni kinyume cha katiba, itakuwa meharibu sheria nchi hii. It is too late, Mr. Ruto. It is too late, you intending investor, ukitaka kununua mali ya umma alafu ununue sahihi kiholela in 2 years time tutakwambia chukua mali yako. Kenyans are working. Haya ndio maneno yanawaudhi vijana wetu. This is abuse of office. Katiba yetu ambayo ni urithi wa watu wa Kenya tuliwachiwa na Kibaki ni wazi juu ya uhuru vile tulivyo hapa. If on nyinyi mko UDA properly, you are the government ya UDA. Lakini hii tabia ya ODM, mguu moja iko upinzani, mguu mwingine iko kwa Ruto. Waamue sasa.
Your Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, na kuomba ukipata nafasi ya kushikilia nchi, tafadhali tuchungie watoto wetu. Watoto wamehangaika, watoto wameumia. And I know you had a good plan when you are vice president ukiwa na Mwai Kibaki, because not only did you bring free education, you also came up with Vision 2030. Ndio wakimaliza shule wapate kazi.
And governors are now calling for more resources to be channeled to counties to support innovation and youth employment. Speaking at the just concluded devolution conference, Kitui Governor Dr. Julius Malombe emphasized that corruption is a national issue and not solely a county problem. Kitui County stood out for showcasing traditional handcrafted goods, innovation in food production and value-added products such as honey.
The solution is those of us who are privileged to occupy public offices need to know the reason why we've been put there through votes is to serve our people. And you can't serve our people when you are taking from them. So the thing is, we should not give up, but we should all make sure we are doing things in a transparent way, in an accountable way, and if challenge, we can say, I was given 1 billion Kenya shillings, this is what it has delivered. And you can account for it. That's what we call accountability.
And away from that, senior government officials from the Mount Kenya region have launched a new initiative to bring government closer to the people, dubbed Jamii Imara Mashinani. The program aims to educate residents on government projects and create platforms for development, dialogue and accountability.
Senior government officials from Central Region, led by government spokesperson, principal secretaries and parastatal directors, have assured Kenyans that all government projects in the region will be completed to directly benefit the public, emphasizing that the engagement forums will help counter misinformation, foster transparency, and address obstacles slowing down implementation.
The most important thing is constant engagement with the people. Let them speak on their behalf, so that if there is anything that they do not seem to understand what government is doing, they are able to understand.
We are here to find out. When we talk about the cyber connectivity, fiber and all those other things, are people in Mashinani actually getting access to those services?
Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Modhoni highlighted the impact of Social Health Authority, insisting the program is already transforming lives and urging Kenyans to take advantage of the Community Health Promoters Initiative, a move expected to ease the cost of healthcare for millions of Kenyans.
We must bring order in the health sector. And the only way to bring order is to follow the law. The law states that level 2 and level 3 are paid through the exchequer, through the primary healthcare fund.
Wametuuliza maswali, tumewajibu, wameuliza asha, wameuliza maziwa, wameuliza barabara.
On his part, the Sports Ministry Principal Secretary called on young people to focus on personal growth through government-backed initiatives such as Nyota and the National Industrial Training Authority.
We are having several sports academies across the country. In essence, we have that 7 sports academies. We are developing this region of Murang'a County. We have 2, one in Kabati, the other one is in Mirira.
They assured residents that the government remains committed to major infrastructure projects, among them the Mau Mau Road, saying it is already 60% complete.
We talked about the one big disappointment of Mau Mau roads, but we have assured them that all the contractors were paid 40%. It is just only that some of us are really letting down His Excellency the President.
Robert Gakure, TV47, Murang'a.
Thank you very much, Robert. And DCP Party National Women Leader Kate Waruguru has slammed President Ruto's affordable housing program, calling it exploitative and unrealistic for ordinary Kenyans. Speaking in Nanyuki during the burial of Batuk staffer Edward Makaveli, Waruguru accused the Kenya Kwanza government of overtaxing citizens while under-delivering on the campaign promises. She called on Kenyans to collectively resist what she termed as oppressive policies.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
But when you hear about the president telling us about affordable housing, how affordable is it if the students who are today at Nanyuki Technical Institute, those who are doing welding, they cannot even provide windows for the Nanyuki project, the affordable housing project? How does it benefit if the people who are in the transport industry, who supply sand, stones, and anything else, including those people who are running hardwares and they sell cement, none of them supplies even a kg of nails inside that affordable Nanyuki housing program? So it is not affordable, it is avoidable, it's a business entity for the president and his cronies. There is nothing for us without us. So I, Kate Waruguru, have declared myself the woman fearless leader of the one-term movement, together with Gen Zs, the people of Nanyuki, as many as of a similar opinion. Ruto is a one-term president. As many as of a similar opinion say, ah.
And the recent devolution conference gave Kenyans a platform to share their views on changes they want to see by 2035. Sauti ya Wananchi gathered various public opinions during the event, with key issues raised including lack of public participation and poor project planning at the county level. Citizens urged devolved units to involve them in decision-making to improve accountability. Philbert Mbugua of Twaweza East Africa said all data collected will be analyzed and published for public consumption.
And these messages will bring out those nuances among different people, that we can see what are the things people want to see county do better of, and what are the issues they think that the counties are not doing very well, that we would love to see them change. And these messages, after we compile, we can be able to engage counties and ask them, these are the things people want to see. Are your processes geared towards achieving those ideals that they want? And if not, how can we be able to help the counties and also the citizens to achieve those? That they do want to see meaningful public participation, where public participation is happening not just at the ward level, but it goes even to the village level. And it is not just about government coming with what they want. We want the bunge za wananchi at the village level, where they bring up the issues, and the duty bearers are not the ones coming to tell them what they should do, but it's them who bring in the duty bearers and tell them these are the things that we would like to see in our area, and that information now is scaled up. It is going from the wananchi, going all the way to the duty bearers.
We actually lobbying through the Department of Public Service and Administration, and also the budget, and we have also tried to reach the county attorney to ensure that the regulations are put in place. Because now the document is just, you cannot use it if there's no regulation unless it is put in place. So we are lobbying to ensure that those regulations are there, that we can use them as a matrix to track the public participation effectively. So we are lobbying for that.
And away from that, Kenyan youth, especially Generation Z, have been urged not to fall for political incitement and not to stay calm as the country heads into the next election cycle. Nairobi businessman Simon Ngunjiri Gathoni made the call, urging government to engage the youth in national development and decision-making.
Maybe that properties belongs to one, maybe a cousin or an aunt or an uncle. Then you have already gone home. You don't have a job. The following morning, you are asking for some finances to go to town, to go looking for a job. The parents has been looking for that money is a correction from what you touched. Surely, for heaven's sake, what are you trying to do? So politicians, I think they should be advised. It is not so good. Look for other avenues for tackling to the youth. Okay, do demonstration, let them do demonstration. But you know, according to the Constitution, it is mandated. The demonstration is mandated, it is picketing. But use the system, which is it is diplomatic. Use the diplomatic way to get this youth, because you can give them a very sweet stories, whereby they don't even need to. And especially Nairobi, as you use youth, they are so good. You can see when demonstrations were taking place, especially the Gen Zs.
Also, youth from the Movement for Defense of Democracy have expressed support for the government's decision to compensate victims of the June demonstrations. Speaking in Nairobi, MDD leader said the president's pledge to compensate victims signals a commitment to ending extrajudicial killings and upholding human rights. They also called for justice for those who lost their lives during peaceful protests.
We support the presidential proclamation on the framework for compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests. This is a serious step to having closure to the brutality that had been committed in this and past regimes.
Tumeenda maandamano, tumevunjika, tumekula tear gas, lakini imefika wakati wa compensation. Hiyo kizungu nimetoa sijatoa. Ifanywe kwa wale ambao wanafaa.
Haitakuwa bora wazazi waliopoteza watoto wao na vijana wetu ambao wako ndani ya hospitali na vijana wetu ambao walipigwa risasi waweze kuachiliwa namna hiyo, kwa sababu walikuwa wanapigania nchi yao na walikuwa wanapigania haki yao.
This is a goodwill, and we urge both the principals to ensure that that committee is formed as soon as possible to help in the identification of these families and also to compensate them as fast as possible.
All right, and to matter sports, the national football team Harambee Stars is set to face Zambia's Chipolopolo in a crucial final Group A encounter of the ongoing African Nations Championship. Our sports reporter Nzuki Alan explains the significance of the match for the Benny McCarthy-led side. Alan, what's the latest?
Well, thank you very much, Sheilar Chelangat. We're here at the Kasarani International Stadium. What a beautiful day. Harambee Stars take on Zambia's Chipolopolo in their last Group A game. Unfortunately, right now, if you can look at the weather, it's quite drizzling already over here. However, the fans are still making their way into the stadium because remember, this match is very crucial to Harambee Stars despite us having qualified for the quarterfinals, because a win for Kenya would guarantee Kenya a home tie in the quarterfinals. And also remember, the president or the head of state, President William Ruto, promised Harambee Stars a whooping 2.5 million Kenya shillings if they overcome Chipolopolo today. Also, apart from that, also remember this match is very key, Sheilar Chelangat, because remember, CAF is keen on us. They've already imposed sanctions on us, 3 consecutive sanctions in our previous 3 games. So this game is crucial because it's a do or die when it comes to the local organizing committee discipline. And already we have seen a lot of barriers placed in the roads that the fans are coming in. They have been placed very far from the entrance in order to prevent stampede, as it happened last game or last time out against Morocco. So it's a very key game in terms of discipline and also for Benny McCarthy's side, because a win for Kenya, like I said, assures Kenya of a home leg tie in the quarterfinals and most likely will be facing Mauritania in Group B. So it's about to go down, Sheilar Chelangat, and keep it right here at TV47, because I do assure you it is definitely, and I mean definitely, about to go down. Back to you, Sheilar Chelangat.
Absolutely, Alan Zuki. Thank you very much for the update so far as we await the match between Kenya and Zambia. And of course, here in studio, we do wish Harambee Stars all the best. And that now concludes News Now at 1 p.m. with I, Sheilar Chelangat. Of course, more of those stories at about 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. And of course, I will be in Kasarani watching the match between Kenya and Zambia. Have a lovely afternoon. I am Sheilar Chelangat.